Hi, welcome to Draw Plans. I'm Tom Norris, and today we're going to be looking at designing a new kitchen, and we're going to be doing it with TurboCAD. So basically what I'm trying to do here is to combine a few hints and points on learning TurboCAD whilst at the same time teaching you how to design a kitchen. So as you can see, we're using TurboCAD 2022 Deluxe. It's a pretty stable product, and not everyone is that familiar with it. They're more familiar with AutoCAD. Now AutoCAD is obviously a fantastic product, but don't be fooled by TurboCAD thinking that it's not up for the job, because TurboCAD is in fact used by some of the world's largest companies, Hewlett-Packard, Hyundai, just to name a few. So it's a great product. This is, as I say, it's the deluxe version, more than capable, and we've been using it for years for these kind of projects, and it's a really great product. And I'm not affiliated, by the way. I just like to promote anything that's what I consider to be really useful, and this one is. Let's get set up then to design a kitchen. On my right, we've set up on the tools. I'm going to palette. I'm going to close that down. So in case you're not too familiar, if you've managed to get TurboCAD up and running, ideally what you want to do is to get the mouse up here on the top right click, and it brings up this customize, and what we want here is palettes, and on palettes you just select tools, and as you see, they come up straight away. Another set of tools I use is the right click button. The right click is bringing up effectively the line tools, and it's bringing up the modify, which are also over here. So to do that, again, top right click and pop up toolbars, and as you can see, I've got line and modify. So if you've got something else on yours, then just knock them off and then pop in line and modify, and we'll end up with exactly the same setup. Very simple setup. So to get the kitchen underway, this is one of our projects. It's in South London, and we're basically changing the layout a bit, and kitchen used to be here. In this room here, so we're popping the kitchen in there, changing the layout quite a bit, and then we're going to turn the old kitchen into a utility and a shower room. This kitchen, as I say, I've drawn this one, and so I kind of know how it's made up, but what I want to do is I want to share as much of that information as I can with you, and that's the aim. Whether I do it well or not will be debatable, maybe. Right, now, all good kitchens basically start from the corner here, or start from a corner. You don't start on an end, you start on the corner. And if we start with, say, by looking at the depth of the normal kitchen carcass, so we're going to put it at 600. In fact, some of them will be maybe 580, 570, but we don't want to do that. So we're going to go with tab 600 and run a line down, because we're going to do a run of units for both of these walls. So let's get another line down there. Tab 600, and oops, daisy, too fast for my own good here. Right, now let me come out and pull that up. So I'm going to be using new little tricks and tools as I do it, and just to remind you that now you got two overlapping lines. There's a number of different ways I can fix that. For today I'm going to use this little meet two lines tool. Click on one, click on the other, sorted. Right, now corner unit. In this case, I worked out that a 1200 corner unit would work really well for us. So you got a 600 door that's going to end up showing. Now the corner unit never never starts from the actual corner, because if it did, I'll explain it to you. Let's assume that was a corner unit and that was a corner unit. It means that when you go to open the drawers here, you're going to pick up on the drawers on this unit. So we don't want to do that. So generally they start about 30 mil out. So we're going to try 30 and see where we get with that. Tab 3, O. So effectively that's the center line. That's the center line on my, getting a little bit of yeah, there we go. Sorry, the computer is lagging a little. I should have rebooted before we started the lesson, but there you go. Live and learn. Right, so that's 30 mil out. What I want to do now, I'm going to use the parallel tool to go tab 600 one way and tab minus 600 the other way. So in fact that's where your kitchen unit is. I can do that. I don't need to do that. Just pull that in. There you go. So effectively 600 unit, 600 and a 600. And to make life more difficult, we've got, the client has a 1000 millimeter wide range that's going to go in. So that's going to go central to the chimney, and it's going to be recessed a little. So what we're going to do is we're going to go 510 because we're going to leave 10 mil on either side to get the stove in. So tab 510. There we go. Really should have rebooted. And we do a parallel again, tab minus 510. There we go. So that's the opening for the actual oven. And now the key bit of info is how much space we got here. What's the width? The width is 863, which is not a great number for us because it means that what it actually means is that there's going to be a little bit of packing out here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work our way from here to the corner, and I'll explain what that means. First of all, let me create a 1200 unit. And I'll show you how to do that. So we go tab 1200 tab 600. So if we actually cover it with something, then we'll have a better idea as to the makeup when we start to lay stuff out. So let's cover it with that. Do it in a lighter color. Light grey. So that's our unit. So now if I go, if I put it here, we can see the unit very plainly. I'm going to take out the lines I drew in. And set that back, tools, draw order, send to back. Right, so that's our 1200 unit. Now, so what I've got here is that's our range plus a little bit of 10 mil. So we don't need any end panels or anything. So now I'm going to put an 800 unit here. So tab 800. Now as you can see, we've got a little space going here. So the best thing to do in this case would be for me to come forward, and you'll see how this works later on. So I'm actually pulling the 1200 unit in, and what happens is, if I just explained, I might as well explain it to you now. If I go tab 600 is the door. That means there'll be a little filler piece in the corner, and it's always better to have that filler piece somewhere, well, in the corner or at the end of the range. So if the chimney wasn't there, I would have had I've got about 50-60 mil to spare. I would have had that filler piece at this end, but because we've got the chimney and we've got to work, we have to balance it all out. So we've got an 800 unit here. So now let me draw an 800. Just get this one and change the size down here to 800. And now we go to here. So straight away you're telling me, oh wow, that needs to be altered, and it can be. Just to have the unit trimmed down. So the unit gets trimmed down. We get rid of that line. So now the unit gets trimmed down and you carry on. So this is your appliance. So now what we do is we look to balance things out. So I'm going to do another 800 here. 800 will mean either 800 drawers all the way, or 2 400 doors. So you're probably thinking, this is more complicated than you thought. Actually, it's not. But we're waiting here as my computer. I'm going to have to spend some money on a new computer. If you guys watch, and if you guys all subscribe, I get more money from YouTube, then I can buy a new computer and I'll be able to speed these videos up. How's that for a deal? So down this end we're going to have a dishwasher and we're going to have a sink. So we're going to do a 600 now. So now let's get a 600 unit, and again, easy, just this one needs to be 600 and this one needs to be 600. So very simple. There you go. Now that one's going to be the sink unit, and I'm going to put a dishwasher next to it. There we go. I'm just looking to see what the space is that's left. Wrong line. We've got 175 left, so we're not going to waste that. We're going to use that as a pull-out. And let's see what we can create here. So pull-out is custom made. You just basically put a side on it, and we turn it into a little wine rack, turn it into a towel holder, turn it into a pull-out sliding, you know, for tall upright bottles or something. And I'd rather keep everything the way we are here, keep it all symmetric. So if I go 150, 150, there we go. And you're going to get half a dozen bottles of wine on there. I didn't take it all the way because we have a little bit of skirting, and sometimes you just do the 150 units, say, and then put a little bit of filler here. That's how it works. So now we're done fine on this side. So now here, again, you know, the principle of the doors, the drawers hitting the drawer handles there. Can't do that, so we're going to come again 30 mil as a, yeah, sometimes we do more depending on what the handles, the client picks a handle that's, you know, big deep thing, then we have to allow more space here in the corners. So again, we're going on a 30. So sometimes wrong way, thank you. 30. So now we're going to go, let's try and work it from this end. So we're going to go, I was after a 400, tab 400, and then I was after 1020 because I wanted to put a 1000 statement fridge in. So we're going to try that. Tab 1020. There you go. That's allowing for the statement fridge freezer. I want a little wine cooler. Tab 300. And then I'm after what space have I got left? I'm looking down the bottom here, you see. And I've got 780. Yeah, ooh, that doesn't work. So we're going to go, what we're going to go, let's see. Going to go with 300 for the wine cooler. So I've got 780. So all I can do is 600 here. Tab 600. Now, so what we now know is, of course, that's right up to the edge, and we're not going to do that. So this is what we do. We now know it's a 600, 300, 1020, and 400. We're missing something here. Yeah, of course we are. We got 400 on the other side of the. Start again. On the other side of the statement fridge freezer, we're doing another larder. That's what I would like. Tab 400. And now let's see what we got left. See what space we got left here. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. I won't be editing these little mistakes out. But 650, so we're going to do a 600 unit there. That's fine, I don't need that now. Okay, so now we can drop all that. We're going to do a 600. This was a 600. So all I need to do is change my D to there. Come on, no rocket science. I don't know why. I think it's to do with the fact that I've filled in you know, when you use some of these fills, some of them are very memory hungry, and because of that it slows down your program. So we're doing a 600, and then we're doing a 300, which was the wine cooler. Should be down the middle, right? Let's just check on that. No, not quite. Cancel. $600, $300. Now we're going to allow, remember, 1020 for the statement fridge freezer. 1020. Oh, nice one. 1020. Right, and we're having, is that quite right? No, that's not quite right either. I'm making mistakes here because we need to be adding, let's see, let me just look at the design again here. 4, look and see how deep that was. It's 1000. So 4, 1004. Yeah, okay, I'm getting it wrong. So this is 300 unit. This is the cooler. This one is 400 larder unit. I think it might help you here is if, oh no, we can see it. And then we've got the 1020. this was 102. This was for the fridge. And then we've got a 400 again on the other side of the fridge. And then that one goes to there. So what would help now, I guess, is if I actually did the line in a little bit darker so that we could separate. Dim grey. Is that going to help us? Possibly. Let's see how it works out. And of course we can do it like so. Right, we can see the lines, and we're going to have a little filler piece here. And if it's necessary because of the handles, then all of this will shove down just a little bit when we know we have a bit of leeway here with the door. So normally what I would do now is I'd start grabbing text. I'd start putting in text to let people see what it is we're doing. And rather than draw it all out again, I'm going to just do a little pillaging. Dishwasher. Yeah, all that works. Yeah, perhaps wasn't a great idea to do the colouring on these. Dark, let's do it lighter again. Let's do light grey. How's that? Yeah, we can still see. Now, so basically I'm saving us a little time here by stealing a bit of text. So you guys don't fall asleep on me. Right. So that's the 1200. Draw a base. 300. Yeah. Wine cooler. Tall larder. Statement fridge freezer. And another tall larder. So now you see we're getting the base units in. And I'll explain about the worktops and that in a minute. But let's just get the base units in. And the base units are in. So we're just waiting for the appliance there to pop in, yeah? Which is quite lovely. I'm not sure we need that line here. Yeah, we don't. So I like to get rid of the anything that's kind of not necessary. Stripping out. But I don't need to be doing it now, I guess. Now that I've got the format here. Right, so that's the wall, that's the base units, and you've got the layout, and you've seen how I've done it, and it's as I say, it's not rocket science, but you need to focus a little because otherwise you're going to have a problem. And one other thing you got to understand is that you need to know the denominations of the kitchen companies, meaning this is an IKEA kitchen. It's based around their carcasses. Now I know they do a 1200, 800, 600, 400. They don't do a 300 base. They do a 400 tall larder, and they'll do a bridging units to go across the top, 2 at 500. So I know all that. So, but basically you have to know the kitchen and a combination of units that are available to be able to make up the kitchen. Otherwise you're going to be in real trouble. If you go to do, say, a Howden's kitchen and they don't do a 300 unit. I'm giving you an example. I'm sure they do a 300, but if they didn't do a 300, then you're going to have a problem. But on this particular kitchen, I can do anything I want because the doors are coming from a company that provides all of the range of doors, that the standard sizes, as in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1000, 1200, as in door widths, yeah, millimeters, of course, yeah. So as your carcass is laid out, now what we want to do is lay out the wall units. So let's have a little look at what I did here. I used this as an example, and I just drew a few lines on it. This is, I'm going to do it in a different way now. Let's see, I'm going to copy and paste. In fact, I might as well do it slightly different, but I'm going to do it easy for you guys to work out. Now, this one. So we have a choice here now, because of the way the chimney comes out. We can build the units all across the front of the chimney, or we can leave a recess. So for the sake of design, what I'm going to do on this one is I'm actually going to build, let me just grab some of that. Not quite sure where my pasting is going. All right. Let me just take it from here again. If you want to get the your pasted elements close to where you're working, because there'll be some days they're going to go everywhere. If you want to do that, then just copy more than one item. If you do that, it should solve the problem. I'm going to have to change the color on this one to give it a little bit of how do you say, so that we can see it. So shall we yellow it up? Yeah, yellow it up is good enough. Right. And this time I need to bring that in. So these are going to be cut down units. We'll work out the left and right of it in a minute, as in what the sizing is going to be for all of these units. Because sometimes we try to mirror the sizing on the bottom. Other times it's not possible, but in this case I think we'll be able to do it. And then just cut elements out. Right. Just check on something here. We used the which one was it? Plate metal down there. So I'm not getting a great differential here between. I'm not getting a differential that is plain to see between base unit and up here. So what I'm going to do is, let's just see if I can change it. Change it to. Just check again. Yeah, it's the plate. Second one up. Have to stick with format so we know. And second one up is that one. Right, to me now that's, you see, sometimes we get it wrong and you try to communicate or express something, but it's not working for you. So my view is, if it's not working for you, don't be afraid to go back, change it and so on. Don't forget, we're designing something, we're being creative. So there's nothing wrong with getting it wrong. That's really what I'm saying. That one. Should be plain. No, what we use for the walls. What did we use up here? We use go. Let me see. Oh, okay. It's fine. You don't have to look for different combinations here. So if I go for, use that one. That's much better. Okay. Now what I need to do is copy this one and copy the line so I can paste right beside me. And then go in here. So we're getting an idea. Now, so we're going to have a 600 corner unit here. So again, what we're going to do is get a little line in there. I'm going to show you another tool in a minute, which could be quite useful for you. That was just memory problems on my computer here. Not sure that one is accurate. Right, let's see. Getting hung up today. There we go. Doesn't want to know. Yeah, so I'm having PC problems today, which is going to be a little frustrating for all of us. My apologies. Yeah, just work backwards. Sometimes the snaps will play up, and I really have no idea how to avoid it other than close down, reboot, and that seems to get rid of it. But I've left these lines hang out because I wanted to show you how easy it is to modify. So I'm using, remember what I'm using? Line length tool. So rather than just manually pulling them back, use the line length tool. And way quicker, smarter, sharper, especially then. And you know, especially if you got loads of lines, it's the way to go. So now you're seeing the range of units there. 600 unit mirroring the dishwasher. Again, there's another 600 above the sink. This one, when we go to do the elevations, we'll probably make this one a little taller. This is an 800 wall unit. We're going to have stove here, which is 5 and 5. Now, this one a little bit different because what we need here, we know we've allowed 10 mil on either side, so we need to be careful on that. So we might need to actually allow a little bit more space and do an end panel here, because we're going to need an end panel at the top, maybe, depending on whether we want to raise the height above the stove. In other words, have a shorter wall unit. So we might have to put in an infill panel on both sides here. So again, we'll have to see when we do the elevations and the 3D to see how best to do that. Right. Wall units here we're not doing because this is tall, this is tall. We're obviously doing tall units at the top, but they're going to be the same depth of as the larder unit. So really this is all the detail you need at this point to get the layout right. You then go along and you put in elements such as the sink. You can pop in, instead of the unit there, you can pop in a fridge as well. So incidentally, let me just get rid of that little ball and get rid of the... So I'm kind of showing you how we design our kitchen. Very easy, isn't it? So where do you get this? Well, that's a CAD block. So what we're going to do, just for a little bit of fun, we're going to get a fridge freezer. So I'll show it to you. File, open. So what we do here is we go to CAD resources. So if we go kitchen, sinks, kitchen ranges. Let's see if I've got a top. Kitchen range. Yeah, so which one we're going to use? They all look a bit old-fashioned. And that's probably because these are this is a free set, so we can modify a little. So we're looking at 2, 2, and 1 in the middle, something like this, you know, 2, 2, and something in the middle. So this might work. Looks a bit more contemporary. What's it to be? Let's go with this one. So if I go with that, Control C, I can close that page. You can see how big it is here. So what we do is, it's all 1, so we have to explode it. We do that by pressing there a few times. Get rid of that, and now we got to size it. So we're going to size it at 1000, and we're going to size it at, because the handle and that sticks out, we're going to size it at 650. Now it's reduced substantially. So, of course I could have gotten the oven from up here. But where's the fun in that? You learn nothing. Now, we glide it into place. And we've got the 10 mil on either side, so we got a little bit of leeway. So let's just leave it like so. You've got the idea. So you've seen me. Obviously, I can, you know, lighten it up. What it is when you're designing, you don't necessarily want to have strong colors in some of the elements, because you want to allow the focus to be on one thing in particular. So if the reason that's in grey, for example, that sink, is I don't want to be the real focus to be on it, whereas the real focus now on a black stove. Let me just redo that again. So now what I do is, I want to do this in light, in a light grey again. So now when we put it in, it'll be less. There you go. That's your oven, and it's in, and it's a lot less. So the statement fridge freezer. Let's go back and find a fridge freezer. File, open. Kitchen appliances. Let's see if we can find a fridge freezer here. Okay, so I like the unbalanced one. We could have the one with the door open. No, I'm going to go with the doors closed. Control C. Close. And this time we're flipping it around. And what's the size? It's 1026. Well, we want that to be 1000, and 7450 might be a bit much. So if I get rid of that box, and I need to lighten it up first. Light grey. No, it's not lightening up. It's not changing color. So when that happens, what you got to do is explode it and then try it. And if that doesn't happen, just double click on it. Go to pen. Yeah, light grey. It should change now. Okay, it's still showing as one unit. There you go. Now it will change. right. And here we're going again. That's probably sticking out just a touch too much. There you go. That's your statement fridge freezer. So we're designing. So this is the base. And so basically once you establish this, now remember it needs tweaking, because as I said, when you do the wall units here, if we end up going across and then going up where the stove is, which some people do, then what happens is you're going to need an end panel to cover the bottom part of this unit. So one's got to be mindful. You got to make that decision on the design table as to whether you're going to have an end panel or not, because if you put an end panel, then it means you're shoving down all the little units are not going to line up, because you're going to be fighting for 20 mil of space, and the top units will be just 20 mil off all the time, unless you allow a little bit more space, or put an end panel on the bottom so that when we use the end panel on the top, it won't have any impact at all. So these things need to be thought through. So now what you would normally do, or what we would normally do, is you see what we have here. We'll have the dishwasher, where it says dishwasher, etc. Here we'll write on the other side of the wall. We're going to write basically the wall unit. 600 wall unit, and then we can do the heights as well. If we want to have a shorter unit above the sink, we can do, let's assume that the wall units are 1000 by 600, we can do 800 by 600 here, and then it's 800 by 1000 again when we get crossover. Yeah, that's generally how we do it. So that's about it really, because I'm not showing you the elevations today. We can do another project on that, another video, and by all means kick in on that one. So keep an eye out for it. Kitchen elevations, it'll be coming up quite soon. That's about it. Now hopefully you got some value out of this, and you'll be able to use CAD. Like I say, use TurboCAD. If you don't have a CAD package and you want to learn about design or kitchen design, or using using CAD to design things around a home, TurboCAD it's a great starter pack. You don't even have to buy the deluxe. There's cheaper versions to be had for $30 or $40. Start off with any of them, and if you really love what you're doing, then just graduate. But as I say, the only tools I've shown you today, and very little, it's I've shown you how to set up your tools on the tool palette, shown you how to set up this tool palette. Sorry, this is the tool palette. This was the pop-up toolbars. I've shown you how to get what you need here, how to change the color scheme if you want. I'll remind you, just pop up, go right, and then go to options and styles and themes, and that'll help you. And also, things like the sizes of the icons, you do it here. You can change sizes of the icons, and I certainly like them down. I don't like big icons in the workspace. So pop-up toolbars, and that's my right-click ones, modify and line, and then the palettes would be the tools only, which is all here. And that gives you everything you need to be able to design. All of this is to scale, and you have to know how to set up your pages. If you don't know how to set up a page or get the scales right, and we're drawing everything in metric, but you'll learn how to do that. And if not, just look back at some of my tutorials and you'll see how to do page setup to make sure that you're drawing 1 and 1. So for example, this is 600. You can see it down here, 600 by 600. So I'm drawing 1 and 1 on a scale of 1 to 100, printed in A3. That's set up here within the page setup. And again, it's another tutorial to learn how to do that properly and test it all out. So just look for that tutorial within our video list and you'll find it. Okay, kitchen, hopefully you have the basic bones for getting a kitchen plan going. starting in the corner, working left, keeping an eye out for the door handles, etc. And don't ever go to whole way to the end, just kind of, you want to be kicking in a little. Fridge freezers, big appliances like stoves and so, if they're freestanding, always allow maybe 10 mil on either side just to get them in. Worst thing you can do is have it perfect, because if you've got a 1000 mil opening to put in a 1000 mil appliance, you're just going to make a lot of problems for the installers. You need a little bit of tolerance. Okay, that's about it. As I say, hopefully you got some value out of it. Keep an eye out for the next one, which will be around elevations, doing a kitchen design, doing the elevations. Thanks very much for watching. See you on the next video.